I wanted to say a few words this morning about the passing of an extraordinary leader, Senator Edward Kennedy. Over the past several years, I've had the honor to call Teddy a colleague, a counselor, and a friend. And even though we have known this day was coming for some time now, we awaited it with no small amount of dread. Since Teddy's diagnosis last year, we've seen the courage with which he battled his illness. And while these months have no doubt been difficult for him, they've also let him hear from people in every corner of our nation and from around the world just how much he meant to all of us. His fight has given us the opportunity we were denied when his brothers John and Robert were taken from us. The blessing of time to say thank you and goodbye. The outpouring of love, gratitude, and fond memories to which we've all borne witness is a testament to the way this singular figure in American history touched so many lives. His ideas and ideals are stamped on scores of laws and reflected in millions of lives. In seniors who know new dignity, in families that know new opportunity, in children who know education's promise, and in all who can pursue their dream in an America that is more equal and more just, including myself. The Kennedy name is synonymous with the Democratic Party, and at times Ted was the target of partisan campaign attacks. But in the United States Senate, I can think of no one who engendered greater respect or affection from members of both sides of the aisle. His seriousness of purpose was perpetually matched by humility, warmth, and good cheer. He could passionately battle others and do so peerlessly on the Senate floor for the causes that he held dear, and yet still maintain warm friendships across party lines. And that's one reason he became not only one of the greatest senators of our time, but one of the most accomplished Americans ever to serve our democracy. His extraordinary life on this earth has come to an end, 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 come to an end.
I'm getting lots of email. People are frustrated as they can be over the slobbering media coverage today over the passing of Senator Kennedy. And, folks, you're going to have to put up with it for a week. It's just the way it is. It shouldn't surprise any of you. But I think we need to look at Senator Kennedy in a number of ways. I think Senator Kennedy, it would serve us well to remember that Senator Kennedy is a perfect example of the redeeming aspect of liberalism. If a politician is liberal, and if the politician uses the government to take money from people who work and gives it to people who don't work, they are redeemed for every bad act on earth they commit. It's no more complicated than that. Why is Kennedy being so lionized after what he said about Bork and these other things? It's because he took money from people who worked, used the government to do it, and gave the money to people who don't work. And all of that simple act is the redemption that all liberal politicians get, on earth anyway, and it's sort of like a chit for any bad behavior that they engage in. That's how they are defined, as compassionate and caring and saintly, virtuous, all because they support liberal policies. They take money, use the government, take money from people who work, give it to people who don't. It's that simple. Now, when you look at Ted Kennedy, I think, particularly where we are as a nation today, I think that Kennedy's struggle to live is what should be lionized. Not his politics, and not his work in the Senate, but his struggle to live. Will there be a single liberal come forward and embrace Senator Kennedy's example of seeking and securing the best medical care available? For those who truly respect and admire Ted Kennedy, the man, I ask you, put politics aside today. Forget the words. Embrace the actions of Ted Kennedy. Learn from the way he chose to live and die. Why support the rationing of health care when Ted Kennedy, the lion of the Senate, did not? Why not look at the example Ted Kennedy set and learn from that? Liberals will do Ted Kennedy, the man they love, a great disservice if they turn his death into a metaphor for hypocrisy. It's not too late to make Senator Kennedy a symbol for life. Chappaquiddick and rationed health care are not how Ted Kennedy should be remembered. His own struggle to live is what should be lionized. How in the world can people who support rationed health care and everything that's in that monstrosity of a bill in the House of Representatives dare put Ted Kennedy's name on it? Ted Kennedy did not use any aspect of that health care legislation to try to survive. It would be an insult to the memory of Ted Kennedy to put his name on a bill that has rationed health care based on someone's age and the extent to their illness. Ted Kennedy didn't let any of that stand in his way in his effort to live. His spirit was for life. And I think it would be and I'm being dead serious here, I think it would be a tremendous disservice to come up with a health care bill that we have now in the House and is floating around the Senate, and the one that Obama's talking about, where the government is going to decide whether people like Ted Kennedy get to go through every aspect of survival that he did, exercise their spirit. He had a spirit for life. He wanted to live. He did not want to die. Now, Obama has said, well, we can't look at that because costs, they're looking at somebody's spirit and will to live. Well, Ted Kennedy's spirit was to live, and he chose to exercise as many options as were available to him to prolong his life. And to put his name on a health care bill that denies that to other people and say we're doing this in his memory is hypocrisy, and it would be insulting to his memory. And I'm dead serious about this. The United States government was never a partner in Ted Kennedy's death. Remember what Obama said. Obama said this week, we are partners with God in decisions of life and death. Remember him saying that? Well, I'll tell you this. The United States government was never a partner in Ted Kennedy's death. Ted Kennedy's life, if it stood for anything, was a thundering rejection of President Obama's statement to hundreds of rabbis in trying to recruit them to sell his public option. We are God's partners in matters of life and death. The U.S. government was not a partner in Ted Kennedy's death, and it should not be a partner in anybody else's death. As they say, actions speak louder than words. The lion of the Senate, Ted Kennedy, never invited any bureaucrats into the decision-making process regarding the medical care he received. In his desperate and human and wholly admirable struggle to remain alive, Ted Kennedy's spirit was to live. And he didn't bring any bureaucrats in. And he didn't have any end-of-life counseling with people, at least mandated by the government. You see, my friends, there are lessons to be learned in life, lessons to be learned in death. Senator Kennedy's last days and his death were a powerful manifestation of the survival instinct, the will, the spirit to live. God bestowed on each of us the miracle of life. It's a gift that is personal and it is priceless. And no government of ours should ever become a partner in snuffing out a life. Slavery was a sin because governments approved the imposition of a monetary value on a human being's life, and they seized the right of individuals to be in charge of their own destiny. Rationing health care, I think, is a comparable sin because it imposes a value on a human being's life, and it allows the human being's life to become nothing more than a mere budget item.